Hey guys, this week for Weapons Wednesday, we're testing out some of the newest weapons we recently added to the KarateMart.com website. But before we begin, would you just like this video and subscribe to our channel? That would be awesome. So last week, you got to meet the final two contestants who were competing to take my job as host of Weapons Wednesday. And then I asked you to go to the community tab and vote for which one you like best. And you guys went to the community tab and voted for Dallas Dyer. Excellent choice, guys. Congratulations, Dallas. I'm very excited to see how you do in the final round. So make sure you join us next week to vote for your favorite candidate as we finally determine who's going to take my job as host of Weapons Wednesday. But this week, we're going to look at some of the newest weapons we recently added to the KarateMart.com website. So at the end of this video, make sure you guys go to the community tab and vote for which of these weapons you like best. And as always, there's links in the description of the video so you can find out more information on each of these products. But without further ado, let's go on to the very first item. All right, so our very first item is the dual light stun gun. Awesome. So as you know, I'm not a huge fan of doing reviews on stun guns, but this one is actually really cool. So first off, we can tell that the body of this is made from a very thick and durable ABS plastic. And then we can see that there's also this pocket clip right here, which is kind of nice because then we can just kind of put it in our pocket. And if we needed it, we could just pull it out and use the stun gun. So I do like how compact that is and how nicely that fits in your pocket. Now, the other thing that's cool about this is it is rechargeable. We've got this USB-C charging cable on there, so you can just plug it in and charge it up. But let's see how the functionality of this thing works. So if we want to use it, all we do is kind of push this button here and hold it for about 3 seconds. And as you can see, that little blue light just came on, which means that it's now in standby mode. So if you're out walking around at night, I'd just leave it in standby mode so that it's prepared for you in case you need to pull it out and shock your attacker. So I think that's pretty cool, but there's some really neat features about this stun gun. So the coolest thing about it is if we hit this button once, we've got a very bright flashlight. So that's pretty neat. But what's really cool is if we hit that button again, we've got this floodlight or this work light on there. And that's kind of cool because on this side of the stun gun, we've got these little magnets. So if we were going to use it as a work light, we could just kind of attach it wherever we wanted to and then work on whatever we wanted to. And then what's also really cool is if we were getting attacked, or let's say that we were having some car problems or something, we can hit this button one more time and then check this out. Strobe effect. So we could actually take that little magnet and hook it to the side of our car, and you can gather all the attention of the other drivers on the road. But let's go ahead and turn that off because that's just a little bit annoying. But what's so cool about this is, unlike a lot of other stun guns, this one actually has the ability to use the flashlight and the stun at the same time. So let's say we're walking around at night. If someone's kind of coming towards us on a path, we can just hit this button there to turn on the flashlight and kind of shine it in their eyes to blind them a little bit and say, hey, who are you? And if they continue to come towards you, you can just kind of keep on walking towards them and bam, right there, shock them right wherever you want to shock them. I mean, that is pretty cool. You don't see that a lot with stun guns, so I actually really like that feature. Now, this specific stun gun states that it's approximately 50 million volts. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know that we don't really take that number seriously. The manufacturers just kind of pick a voltage number that's comparable or stronger than other stun guns. Plus, if you think about it, you also have to take into account factors like resistance or amps when you're determining how strong a stun gun is going to be. So what we like to do to determine how strong a stun gun is first off, we like to listen to how loud the crackle of the stun gun is. So let's go ahead and listen to that. Okay, I mean, that's, for its size, that's fairly loud. But the thing that we found to be very important when testing these things is I like Amanda to go ahead and actually try to stun me to see if it's actually going to be an effective weapon. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Amanda. Here's Amanda.
Hi, guys.
And when we're doing this today, I'm going to hold on to this as tight as I can because often I'll kind of run away or scream or something. But I'm going to hold on really tight and I'm going to ask Amanda to stun me right here in the arm. Now, generally, when you're using a stun gun, you'd want to aim for something like the neck, the groin, some place in the body where there's a lot of muscle. So I think this will be okay on my biceps. Probably going to hurt a little bit. But I'm going to hold on tight and try not to run away. I may scream a little bit, but let's just see how this goes. So,
can I blind you too?
Actually, that's not a terrible idea. So, all right, you go for it.
All right.
Here we go, guys. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. That. Ow! Jeez. That was actually really painful in my arm. It feels like someone's taking your skin, twists the skin on your arm, and it kind of digs in a little bit. Well, that's what it feels like these sharp nails are entering into your skin. So it's very, very painful. But I feel like this is a decent stun gun. I mean, it was fairly strong, but as I say with all stun guns is, in case they're not strong enough to take your attacker down, it's very important that you learn other self-defense techniques in addition to carrying a stun gun. But the overall length of this is approximately 6.5 inches, and the weight is approximately 2.3 ounces. So that's a nice size for this stun gun. Again, I think it's so nice that it's just compact, fits in your pocket, it's ready to go at your disposal. But that's about all I have to say about this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, and our next weapon is the Forest Ranger pocket knife. Awesome, awesome. So the first thing I notice about this pocket knife is it's got these very comfortable G10 scales on here, and they've got this kind of textured grip to them, so you're going to be able to maintain control of your weapon very, very well. Now we can also tell that it's got this sturdy steel pocket clip on back, which is nice. I mean, I like having a pocket clip, but one of the things that's great about this specific knife is you can actually remove this pocket clip if you want to. And I've played with this thing a little bit, and I feel like for me personally, I would take off that pocket clip because it kind of gets in my way when I'm using it in forward grip. But let's go ahead and take a look at the blade itself. So first off, we can see that we've got this little flipper up here. Let's go ahead and open up that blade. Bam! Did you see how nice and fluid that pivot was on there? Now, if we take a look, you can tell that that's not a spring-assisted blade. There's no spring in that at all. That's actually just the ball bearing pivot that lets that flow out so satisfyingly. So I love that. Now, if we look at the blade itself, we can tell that this is a straight back blade, which gives it a nice sharp point. Now the blade itself is made from a 7CR17 MOV steel, which is known for being wear resistant and also corrosion resistant. But one of the greatest thing about it is how easy it is to sharpen. So that's actually a pretty decent steel when it comes to being used for an outdoor knife. Now, if we take a closer look at the liner lock, you can see that that's a very sturdy liner lock. So we're gonna have to test that out really quick. In fact, I'm gonna bring it over to our new Wing Chun dummy here, known as Spruce Willis. You guys voted for that name. Don't blame me. All right, so let's go ahead and test out that liner lock here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in there and just kind of pull on it and make sure that that liner lock doesn't break on us. Okay, see how it's just digging into that Wing Chun dummy? That liner lock is actually extremely sturdy, so I'm not worried about that at all. But we've got to test this out a little bit. I want to see how comfortable it is in forward grip, so we'll go ahead and test that. Now, as I mentioned, when I grip this thing, it's very comfortable, but that little pocket clip does kind of dig into my hand, so I would take that off, but let's go ahead and test that first in forward grip. Okay, that felt pretty comfortable to use. Now, I do want to test it in reverse grip though, because we've got this really good thumb placement back there, and this actually feels really comfortable in my hand, even though that pocket clip is still on there. So let's go ahead and test that out. Feels pretty good. The blade is still in good shape. That point has not been damaged at all. Looks good. I'm just going to slice on it just a little bit to see if we lose any sharpness on that blade. You can see it put some pretty big dings in there. Blade is still very sharp. I mean, if I use that against my thumbnail, that's just that's just shaving off my thumbnail. No big deal. All right, so Amanda, why don't you see how this feels in your hand? Because I think it's got a really comfortable handle.
Yeah. It's really comfortable for me as well. I
Okay.
do really like it. I do agree with you though. I would remove the pocket clip as well. I'm gonna move it this way.
Sure. Where you want it? Just a little
Just
bit more.
so I don't.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So first I'm gonna try forward grip.
Oh yeah. Did your hand slide up at all on that, or felt pretty good?
It felt really good. It didn't
Okay.
slide up at all.
Okay.
I feel like right here that flipper kind of keeps it from moving up.
Nice. Excellent point.
And in reverse grip, I mean, that's
yeah.
very comfortable. Yeah.
Good. That actually looked really comfortable. You got that in there quite a bit. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually really digging this knife. So the blade length is approximately 3.5 inches. The open length is about 8 3/8 inches, and the closed length is about 4 3/4 inches, and it only weighs about 3.9 ounces. So that is a really nice pocket knife. Now, one thing I do need to mention is that this knife is only available on combative.com. It's not available on KarateMart.com. So if you're interested in more information about it, definitely check out combative.com. But that's about all I have to say about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, and our next weapon is the Modern Tactical Kopis Sword. Check this thing out. This is a beautiful sword. So first off, we can tell that it's got this really nice genuine leather sheath to it, and then it's got this belt loop on the side, so we could hang it from the side of our body if we wanted to. But we can also see that we've got these rings right here and right here, so we could add it to a shoulder strap or some other sort of suspension system if we wanted to. But you guys don't care about that. You want to see the blade itself, so let's go ahead and open this sucker up. Check out the blade on this thing. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I mean, first off, the mirror finish of this blade is absolutely beautiful. And then obviously this is that Greek kopis style blade because we've got that single edge, recurve style blade shape. There's a few little modifications here that make it a little bit different, but I know what you're asking yourself right now. Hey Kyle, why would I want a kopis style blade instead of like a cool katana or some other type of sword? Well, that is an excellent question, and I'm so glad you guys asked it because I did want to talk about it. If we take a look at the blade itself, we can see that it's got this big convex swollen belly up here, and then we've got this concave section here as it gets closer to the handle. And what's so great about that is that distributes the weight in a way that's kind of similar to an axe. So you've got all this weight up here, so you can do a great chop with it, but it also gives us the advantage of having this huge long cutting edge there. So that's pretty cool. In fact, I think we need to test that out. Strangely, I happen to have this axe right here. So Mel, I'm gonna go ahead and have you put on these safety glasses right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Clark Kent ones. All right, there we go. And first, let's just check the axe. Okay, that's stuck in rather nicely. And it's in there pretty firmly. But let's check out the Kopis sword. All right, I'm gonna aim for kind of this area right here, and it's got all that weight. So let's go ahead and chop with this thing. Okay, look at that. That went in so much further than the axe, and it also cut all the way down here because we've got the blade going all the way to the bottom down there. I mean, how cool is that? What an amazing sword. And the other thing that's so great about this sword is it's made from a 1060 carbon steel that has been heat treated to react like a spring steel. So why that's important is because spring steel has some elasticity to it, which means that it's not going to easily break, and if it does bend, it's just going to return right back to its original shape. So that is an awesome steel when it comes to this sword. Now, the things that make this a little bit different is you can tell that we've got this long false edge on the top up there, and then these large sawback serrations at the end down here. Now, we can also tell that the blade is full tang going all the way through the handle, and then the scales are made from this textured ABS that's extremely comfortable on my hand. We can also tell that we do have a lanyard hole here with a wrist strap, so if we do want to attach that to our wrist, we're not going to lose our weapon, which who's going to want to lose this weapon? This thing is pretty darn sweet. I mean, oh, I love that. Now the blade length of the sword is approximately 20.5 inches. The total length of the sword is approximately 30.25 inches. And the sword weight is approximately 2 pounds, which is a pretty good weight for this sword. Now I'm just gonna show you the balance real quick. So the balance of the sword is approximately right there. So it's a little bit top heavy, but if we choke up on the handle, I have pretty good control of this and it feels pretty comfortable to swing. But that's about all I have to say about this. So make sure you guys go to the community tab and vote for which weapon you like best this week. If you have any questions on any of these weapons, please leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out KarateMart.com because we've got all sorts of awesome weapons on there right now. But until next week, we'll see you Weapons Wednesday.